Hey, Kevin here, and thanks for joining us for part 2 of the Orcas Island 50K Ultra Race. If you haven't seen part 1, the link's in the description below. If you recall, in part 1, we had a pre-race interview with my wife, Marianela, who had some obvious concerns about mainly elevation. As you can see with the word cloud I created from the first interview. Nerd! Other than being there in person, it's going to be tough to conceptualize some of the drastic climbs and drops of this course. So hopefully this graphic helps. On the top we have the course map, and on the bottom we have the elevation profile. And for some perspective, this 50K course equals around 31 miles, and the aid stations labeled are about 6 miles apart. Marianela had mentioned her strategy would be to cautiously approach the first 3 miles, which has the second most intense incline of the course, getting her up to about 1,900 feet. Then she planned to maintain control until a careful descent around mile 9 and continue on to Mount Pickett. Then she'd be maintaining a general pace until her north arch, which is around mile 18. At this point, she said it was going to be key to have enough in the tank, as she's going to be standing at the belly of the beast, with 2 massive ascents ahead up to Mount Constitution. Then she'll finally need to traverse the rapid descent to the finish. Well, with all that said, let's see how our girl did, shall we?
What?
Call me Ultra Runner.
Hold up.
Okay, we are back with Marianela. First of all, how does it feel to officially be an ultra runner?
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm so happy about it. I can't believe it. It has been an amazing journey since I started in the treadmill all the way to running in Florida, running the Smokies. I can't believe it.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Before you actually talk about the race itself, what was the venue like? What was the island like? How can you describe it?
God, that Iceland was incredible. It was just beautiful. It was every single step between the mountains, the lakes, these trees were unbelievable. The moss, it was magical. That place is magical.
Nice. What about the race itself? Like, you mentioned something to me about being psyched out a little bit before the race. You were talking to some folks that were going to be running it.
Yeah, so previous to the race, we were checking the trails, the routes, driving around, just having a feeling for the trails, right? And I heard these 2 guys coming down of the mountain, doing the same we were doing, and they were saying that the downhill tomorrow is going to be hard. And I say, hi guys, you are running tomorrow. Yes, we are running tomorrow, they said, but it's like, one of the guys said, this is my 8th time trying to finish this race, and still I couldn't. And I was like, oh my God, what I am doing. It's incredible how that conversation planted doubts in my mind, in my soul. It added me a lot of stress I wasn't accounting for, because at that point I started doubting of myself, and I have like 2 voices, one saying, oh, this was way too much for us, and the other one was like, trust your training, you did your training. So it really messed up with my brain, that conversation. Yeah.
Well, that brings me back to when we talked before the race. You kind of had mapped out some of the bigger concerns you had, and one of them was the wall at North Arch.
Yes. It was a wall to climb.
That was a mile. Which mile was that?
It was mile 20. They call it the infamous power line. So I was climbing with my big toes because my foot, it couldn't find a way to actually land. It was like a vertical wall over 2 miles non-stop, going high. It was much harder than I expected that was. Yeah, that was crazy.
But you made it. That's important. There was a concept of drop bags. Can you explain that a little bit, and how people can leave them for you at aid stations, and how you use them, or how it helped out?
Yes, so in ultra races, you can have drop bags at different aid stations where it's allowed. And in that drop bag, you're going to put something like you possible need, right? For example, I use my drop bag in the last aid station in Constitution. I put my hiking poles there because I knew I didn't need them to go up, but I was going to need them to go down, right? So I put my poles there, I put additional food, and I put a change. Until at that point, I was running with the vest. So I have a belt at that point. So I could drop the vest, that weight, and run lighter the way down with just a belt. So I did that at that point. So I used the drop bag to have all that ready when I get to that point.
Did you also have some fuel in there, some food as well?
I had some power bars pretty much and cookies.
No peanut butter.
No peanut butter, sorry.
That must have been taxing. I mean, that race just seems like you would have just gotten so beat up. I mean, how did you feel after the race now that the days have gone by? I mean, what did you do to recover? What are you doing to recover?
Well, my hips were very stiff. Like every moment to stand up and stand out, it was just pain. After the race, I've been trying to, use foam rolling a lot, trying to eat a lot and quality food and empty calories. I've been trying to eat a lot of veggies, milk, protein, fruits, trying to make sure, I can replenish everything. I would take 2 weeks off to replenish all of it, eat all of it.
Well, you mentioned your weight drops, and after the race, you weighed how much less?
5 pounds less.
Yeah.
So I need to go back to my weight, and then I will start training again. Yeah.
So anything, now that you know what the race was like and you had your expectations, would you have done anything differently?
I think I could have used another drop bag at Arch Station because even my uphill is strong. I think if I had put some poles there, could have been useful because there wasn't a way to grab myself to climb that wall.
So you didn't run the poles at all?
No, just the downhill, the last, 5 miles downhill.
So you have the retractable poles that you can tuck in your bag and
yes.
flip out. Yeah, so that's...
Yes, but I didn't bring it with me. I put it in the drop bag.
Mm-hmm.
But after, when I saw that wall, I could use an additional, balance to go up. So that's something I kind of regret not having that option.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, now you get this notch on your belt. What are you focusing on as potential next races, or what are you signed up for?
Well, now that I conquer elevation, I'm going to put quads there because elevation has their own rules. I want to try to get my name in the lottery of UTMB. So UTMB. I'm really going after UTMB.
Can you explain that if people don't know what it is?
Well, UTMB is the Ultra Trail Mont Blanc, which is in Chamonix, is the dream race, right, for any ultra runner. It's not easy to get in. You need to...
Can you explain? Yes, explain the process. It's very different.
So you basically need stones.
Stones, yep.
Yeah, stones to get your name in the lottery. So, and then you need to have a UTMB index. Those two things will allow, will give you an opportunity
to get into the lottery.
To get into the lottery, right, and into the race. There are only 2 races here in North America which allows you to earn
stones.
The stones, which is Speed Goat in July.
Where's that?
In Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is in California, Auburn, which is Canyons Ultra. So I'm going to try to get those stones in those races to see if I can have a chance next year. Let's see.
Germany?
No, Germany.
Yeah.
It's not Germany.
Germany.
Chamonix.
Yeah, sorry. That was Spanglish.
Spanglish. My Spanglish.
I want to go to Germany too. Well, the end goal is to go over to Switzerland or to go over to the Alps for that race, right?
Yes, that's the end goal.
Sorry, I got a little confused. Any other thoughts?
I think, in terms of training, food, layers I was wearing, they were all big. They were all big decisions, and they were key. So I made the right decisions there. The weather was super cold. We had a lot of wind after noon. After 11 a.m. the wind was crazy. It was super cold. I feel that I have like 4 layers on the top, 2 layers in my sweatpants, and I feel that cold. I did a change which paid off very well. So I had a bacon sandwich at the North Arch with a lot of bacon in that bagel. It was bagel and bacon. And I ate that whole sandwich, and I get up to do that wall. And it really paid off because my mind was sharp. I had energy. And what was coming next, it was the worst part of the race.
Good time.
That were good decisions I made. So I'm hoping I can keep, pushing the elevation and keep getting stronger and faster over the mountains, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. And the next race you signed up for is actually Knoxville, the marathon.
Yes, I'm going.
Forgot about that.
A lot of times I go to a race as a training day, because it's fantastic. You are going for a long run with a lot of aid stations.
A lot of people.
A lot of people. I don't have to worry about a lot of stuff, right? So I'm going to go Knoxville because it's in our backyard.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be a training day for me for Canyons Ultra. The race is amazing. So people is fantastic. All the volunteers, the expo. There are so many cool stuff about that race. So I don't want to miss it. So.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
You guys ready for some mountains? So I'm standing right here on the starting line. You want to be standing in this zone. So you're doing great if you're already there. You've gone like a mile or two and you haven't seen any course markings. Turn around and go back to the last place you saw one. Get back on the course and keep going. Be nice to everyone out there. Be nice to the other people in the race. Be nice to the other people that you just run into.
Times that I've seen you lose your way, you're not in control, and you won't be told. All I can do to keep you you safe is hold you close till you can breathe on your own, till you can breathe on your own. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Everyone keeps a darker place to lose control. You're not alone. And when you come looking.
Coming up on the channel, we do have some very interesting segments, including running the Clingman Dome Road. It's in the Smoky Mountains, and it gets you to the highest point, and it's only open a few months out of the year and only in Goldilocks conditions where the weather's just right. Secondly, we have the Knoxville Marathon coming up, and then we fly back to Cali to the Ultra UTMB 50K. Now, if you'd like to know immediately when these videos are released, YouTube just came out with a brand new feature. It's called, and while you're there, hit the like button.
Could you whisper in my ear the things you wanna feel? I'll give you anything to feel it coming. Do you wake up on your own? I wonder where you are and live with all your faults. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all, so why don't you smile? Love the life you kill. The priest is on the phone. Your father hit the wall. Your mom disowned you. Don't suppose I'll ever know. So means to be a man, something I can change. I live around here. I wanna wake up where you are. I won't say anything at all, so why don't you slide? Complete little pieces of nothing that fall.